All right, today we're going deep into the mountains of Pauri Gharwal in Uttarakhand. Now, this is a land of ancient temples, incredible folklore, and it's a place where, the line between our world and whatever comes next can get a little blurry. And that is the perfect setting for a story that is as tragic as it is absolutely terrifying.
So at the very heart of this story is a huge question. When two women are found dead at the bottom of a cliff, everyone, and I mean everyone, just assumes it was a horrible, tragic accident. But here's the thing. Was it really just a slip on a rainy day, or was it something much, much darker? Okay, let's get into it. So first, let's meet the family at the center of this whole mystery. We've got Gagan, who's a soldier, his wife Madhu, and their two little girls. They lived a pretty simple, devout life in their ancestral village. A life that was really steeped in tradition and their faith.
Now, this is a really crucial piece of the puzzle, the family's complete devotion to their Kul Devta. And look, this isn't just casual Sunday worship. The Kul Devta is seen as a literal protector of the entire family line, like a guardian spirit that shields them from any and all harm. This belief is so woven into their daily lives, and it becomes absolutely central to everything that's about to happen.
So, what led up to this awful moment? Well, the family had actually moved back to the village from Delhi to take care of Gagan's sick father, who sadly passed away just a few months later. Fast forward a few years and there's some happy news. Madhu finds out she's pregnant. But then, on one wet, rainy morning, all that hope just gets completely shattered by what everyone chalked up to a terrible accident.
The official story was simple, believable. The two women were walking on a muddy path. It was treacherous. They slipped and fell. Case closed, right? Well, not quite. There was this one little detail that just didn't sit right. A weird wound on Madhu's chest. Most people just dismissed it. Maybe a jackal found the body. But that single unsettling clue, it was the very first thread to be pulled in a lie that was about to completely unravel. After the tragedy, the family is just broken. Gagan quits the army, but he changes. He becomes this distant, angry, resentful father. And their home, which was once filled with so much faith, is now just a place of anger and fear. The perfect breeding ground, really, for the horror that was about to take hold of his daughter. So let's look at what started happening to the older daughter, because it is truly terrifying. It started with physical things. She felt this heavy, crushing weight on her all the time. She was bloating for no reason. But it quickly spiraled into something way more disturbing. We're talking screaming in the middle of the night, whispering to herself, just staring blankly at walls for hours and hours. And then she starts hurting herself. It was so clear, so fast, that this was no ordinary sickness. And then Gagan saw it, a mark, appearing on his daughter's chest. And it was in the exact same spot as that strange wound they found on his dead wife Madhu. The connection was it was impossible to deny, and absolutely chilling. That little clue from the accident had just shown up again in the most horrifying way you could possibly imagine. So a totally panicked Gagan rushes his daughter to the village priest. The priest takes one look at her and says a single dreaded word, Masan. Now, in Garhwali folklore, a Masan isn't just any old ghost. It's a powerful, dangerous entity, usually the restless soul of someone who died violently or unfairly. And here's the key. It possesses a body for a specific reason, usually for revenge. The priest knew right away this spirit wasn't just haunting them, it was demanding something. The family was in grave danger.
The whole situation was getting desperate. The daughter's condition was getting worse and worse, and the villagers were starting to demand that Gagan just leave town. But the priest, he sensed there was a much deeper, darker secret behind all this chaos, and his attention turned to the one person who was watching it all in silent terror, the younger daughter.
And this, right here, is the turning point. Someone in that village knew exactly what happened on that rainy morning, but the truth, well, it was about to come out from two very different sources, one from the world of the living and one from the world of the dead. When she finally got a moment alone with the priest, the younger daughter just confided in him. She revealed her father's true nature, his bitterness over not getting more land, and even more shocking, his absolute fury at her mother for being pregnant again. He was terrified of having another girl. And just like that, the motive becomes horribly clear. This was all about greed and a deep-seated hatred for women. So, the daughter's confession gave them the why, but the full horror of how it all went down, that was still to come.
And for that story, the villagers had to listen to the ghost. During a really tense exorcism, the priest demanded that the Masan, the spirit of Madhu, reveal what actually happened that day.
And what came next, speaking through her own daughter's lips, was the whole story, step by horrifying step. Gagan confronted them on the path, just raging about the pregnancy. When his own mother tried to step in, he just pushed her. Off the cliff. When a horrified Madhu threatened to expose him, he pulled out a knife, stabbed her right in the chest, and then pushed her body over the edge to stage the whole thing. It wasn't an accident. It was a cold-blooded, brutal double murder.
With the truth now out there, revealed by his own possessed daughter, Gagan just fled into the night. I mean, his secret was exposed in the most terrifying way you can think of, but justice was coming for him, and it was going to have a serious touch of irony.
So as the villagers chased him, Gagan runs right back towards the scene of the crime. And there, you can't make this up, on the very same treacherous spot where he murdered his wife and his mother, his own foot slipped. He didn't die, but he fell, and that allowed the villagers to capture him right there, at the exact place where his horrific betrayal began.
So what happened to everyone in the end? Well, Gagan was captured and handed straight to the police. The elder daughter? As soon as the truth was out, she began to recover from the possession. The younger daughter was finally safe from her father. And in a really amazing act of kindness, Gagan's brother, a man named Sushil, he adopted both of the orphaned girls, giving them a chance for a brand new life, far away from all this tragedy. So, in the end, a killer was brought to justice. But it happened through a confession that just defies all logic, all rational explanation. It's a story that really forces you to question the boundaries of our own reality. And it leaves us with one final, pretty haunting thought. How many other secrets, how many other hidden truths are out there, just waiting for a voice from beyond the grave to finally be heard?